it's Christina and Aubrey, and we thought maybe we would read you some stories. And this is Aubrey's current favorite, and I feel like we think you would like it too. It's called The Great Big Enormous Book of Tashi. So Tashi is this funny little character, and he goes on all sorts of adventures and tells his stories to his buddy. So we'll just start at the beginning. Aubrey thinks you should see this first. This is the map of Tashi's village and surrounds. So there's stuff like a dragon's cave, warlord's castle, royal tomb, haunted house. So if we get to stuff where we want to refer to the map, we can. I'll try to show the pictures. They're not colored, but they're pretty cute. So the first chapter is just called Tashi. I have a new friend, said Jack one night at dinner. Oh, good, said Mum. What's his name? Tashi, and he comes from a place very far away. That's interesting, said Dad. Yes, said Jack. He came here on a swan. A black swan or a white swan? Asked Dad. It doesn't matter, said Jack. You always ask the wrong questions. How did Tashi get here on a swan then? Asked Mum. Well, said Jack, it was like this. Tashi's parents were very poor. They wanted to come to this country, but they didn't have enough money for the airfare, so they had to sell Tashi to a warlord to buy tickets. How much did the tickets cost? Asked Dad. It doesn't matter, said Jack. You always ask the wrong questions. So why is Tashi here and not with the warlord? Asked Mum. Well, said Jack, it was like this. Soon after Tashi's mother and father left, he was crying for them down by a lake. A swan heard his cries and told him to jump on his back. The swan flew many days and nights until he arrived here, right at the front door of Tashi's parents' new house. Did he arrive in the morning or the afternoon? Asked Dad. It doesn't matter, said Jack. I'm not telling you any more because I'm going to bed. A week passed, and Jack ate lunch with Tashi every day. And every day he heard a marvelous adventure. He heard about the time Tashi found a ring at the bottom of a pond, and when he put it on his finger, he became invisible. There he is. Seeing the ring, putting it on, becoming invisible, apparently being seen by a warthog. The warthog comes running, and he can't see Tashi, so he runs away. He heard about the time Tashi met a little woman as small as a cricket, and she told him the future. And he heard about the time Tashi and he wanted a friend just like Tashi said he wanted a friend just like Jack. And look, the fairy had granted his wish. But at the end of the week, he heard the best adventure of all. Listen to what happened to Tashi yesterday, Jack said to Mom and Dad at dinner. Last night, there was a knock at Tashi's door, and when he opened it, guess who was standing there? Who? Asked Mom. The warlord, come to take Tashi back. Tashi turned and ran through the house and out the back door into the garden. He hid under the wings of the swan. Go on, said Mum. Well, the angry warlord chased him out into the night, and when he found the swan, he shouted, Where did young Tashi go? The swan answered, If you want to find Tashi, you must go down to the pond. Drop this pebble into the water, and when the ripples are gone, you will see where Tashi is hiding. Did the warlord find the pond? Asked Mum. Well, said Jack, it was like this. The warlord did as the swan told him and dropped the pebble into the pond. But when the water was still again, he didn't see Tashi. Instead, he saw his own country and his own palace, and he saw all his enemies surrounding it, preparing to attack. The warlord was very upset by what he'd seen in the pond, and he said to the swan, I must go home at once. I will take you, said the swan. Just climb on my back. And bending his head under his wing, he whispered, Goodbye, Tashi. I am homesick for my country. Just stay in the long grass and he won't see you. Goodbye. I don't know if you can see these pictures or not. Can I bring Tashi home tomorrow to play? Asked Jack. Oh, yes, said Mom and Dad. We're dying to meet Tashi. Jack and Tashi sat at the kitchen table drinking their juice. Would you like to play in the garden now? Asked Mom. Oh, yes, said Tashi. I like gardens. We could look for a dragon to kill, Jack said hopefully to Tashi. Are there any dragons left in the garden? Asked Dad. You always say the wrong thing, said Jack. He's right, though, said Tashi, as they closed the door behind them. There aren't any dragons left in the whole world. Can you guess how I know? How? Asked Jack. Well, it was like this. Come and I'll tell you about the time I tricked the last dragon of all. So that was the first chapter. We'll read the next one called Dragon Breath a little later, but you'll have to tell us if you like these, because if not, we can find another book. Bye, buddy.